Now that patch 8.08 has been out for a little bit now, I want to talk about some of these changes and how they've impacted the game. As we all know, the major headline for this patch and this new act is the addition of more chamber voice lines. Wow, I asked for this? Oh yeah, I guess CYPHER and VIPER were nerfed too. Let's take a look at these two and how the changes are affecting them, starting off with CYPHER's trips. This trip reactivation time had been increased from 1 second to 2, and the slow stun duration of the trip has been reduced to 1.25 seconds. After playing a little bit of CYPHER since the changes, I can honestly say he still feels the same. I will say that his one-way trips, such as the one on Sunset on B main, will be slightly less effective, only if the enemy team is using dogs though to deactivate the trips for people to push in. I say this because there's been times where I activate the trip with a fade dog and then try to swing to break the trip, only for the trip to immediately reactivate before I get a chance to shoot it, and then I end up dying. Now, it's a little bit easier to do so, but people usually have some sort of util to break it anyways, so overall, his trips are still great. Now, moving on to his spy cam change, they added a sound that loops when you're now being watched by the camera. And I don't know what kind of Mickey Mouse Clubhouse bullshit change this is, but in my opinion, this is dumb. Having a camera unknowingly watch you is a part of being a good CYPHER and gathering info, but I guess some bronze player on the dev team got killed by a camera watching them and decided that it was best to add this stupid noise to the game. The funny thing is, it's so rare when this happens. Like, most of the time, the minimap will spot the camera for you before the player even sees it, and then somebody calls it out, and then it gets broken. But just like his trips, I don't think this change will hurt CYPHERs too much either, but it's annoying nonetheless. Now, for our favorite controller, VIPER. Both smoke durations have been reduced to 12 seconds in total uptime. The reactivation period for both of these sources have been decreased to 5 seconds. The minimum amount of fuel needed to activate a smoke has been increased from 20% now to 30%. Her orb can no longer be picked up after the buy phase, and she has 1 molly now instead of 2, which has increased in price from 200 to 300 creds. So essentially, VIPER lost some stall potential and can't have her smokes up as long anymore. And with her orb not being able to be moved, now she has to commit to a single orb spot or keep it in her pocket for whatever may pop up in the round. This, combined with the molly only having 1 charge now, eliminates the worry for VIPER lineups across the board. So what does all of this mean for VIPER? Well, from what I've been seeing, VIPER is struggling on maps where solo controller VIPER was once sufficient. Maps such as Breeze and Icebox. If she can't stall with mollies, can't have smokes up as long, and needs more fuel to reactivate the smokes, it's going to be extremely hard to get your smokes up every time that you need it. In my opinion, this basically solidifies her as a secondary smoke agent if she wasn't one already. However, she is still good in the double controller meta. Take Bind for example. Her whole purpose on attack is to create ghost pressure, which requires the attention of the defenders, and it always keeps them guessing. The only difference is on defense, VIPER might have to commit her orb to the site she's defending, and like I said before, you could keep it in your pocket for the right moment, but if you're me, I'd just commit it to my site. So in general, VIPER alone is going to be a lot harder to play, but if you're running a double controller, you should be fine. And that's pretty much it for this patch. There's a couple of bug fixes, but nothing too crazy. You can't get up on the sign-on split anymore. I haven't seen anybody do that anyways. I've only seen it in TikTok, so I guess it's good it's out of the game. But what do you think about the changes, and are they good, bad, or unnecessary? As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.